99% perspiration. Perspiration means what? Hard work, sweating. This was given by Thomas Edison. A very useful quote. Only motivation, inspiration does not fetch success. That is only 1%. I always tell students, there is no shortcut for success. Only one thing you have to depend on. What is that? Hard work. And what is this editorial about? This is all about death penalty to former Indian Navy personnel. All of you write one important word. Here it talks about death penalty. For that we have a word. Write the word capital punishment. Have you heard of this? Capital punishment. Capital punishment is an important concept they have given already in different competitive exams as a passage. You may get as a passage. Why is this important? In some countries, capital punishment has been abolished. But today we have in our country capital punishment or death penalty. A lot of intellectuals in our country, they have been saying we have to abolish capital punishment. It does not serve the purpose. Any problem? It does not serve the purpose. And all the intellectuals of a country together, there is one important word. Write the word. All the intellectuals, intellect means knowledge. Intellectuals, knowledgeable people, together use the word intelligentsia. Intelligentsia, an important word. So the intelligentsia of India, they have been asking to abolish capital punishment or death penalty. Have you copied the word? Whenever you come across an editorial related to something like this, death penalty, you have to ask a few pertinent questions or relevant questions. Who has got the death penalty? Why have they got? And which country or where? Reasons behind? And also whether it can be justified or cannot be justified. And has the editorial provided similar examples of same kind happen in some other country? And what India has to do, because this goes with former Navy officers in some other country, not in our country. So what India has to do to use its good officers to make sure those people don't suffer. This is a broad framework. Shall I start the editorial? How does it start? Mystery trial. We all know the word mystery. Mystery means what? Something easy to understand or difficult to understand. And write one word, enigmatic. Morning also I gave these words in the explanation session. Mystery, something you cannot understand. A better word, enigmatic, enigma. And a related word, you have to write the word obscure. Obscure has two different meanings. One is vague. Vague means what? Not clear, ambiguous. But another meaning of the word obscure, it also means something that is not popular, someone who is not popular. Imagine there's a talented artist, there's a talented writer, but not known to many people. Then what do you say? Obscure artist, obscure writer, obscure hill station. So these words are important. Coming back to the editorial, mystery trial. Already we have got many a time, underline the word trial. Tell me, why should you underline? What does it come under? Exam point of view. Confusing words. What is the other word here? What is the spelling of that word? T-R-A-I-L. And what is this word? Trial. Trial goes with the court of law. And related words you have to recollect. I've given so many times. Whenever there is a case, there is a trial. And what are the related words? The first hearing, the second hearing, the third hearing, the entire process. And also we use words like someone is innocent, then the person is acquitted. Someone is guilty, the person is convicted. And the verdict, witness, eyewitness, alibi. All the words have given many a time. You have to recollect. So mystery trial, and related to what? On the case of the former Indian Navy personnel in Qatar, not in our country, in some other country. That shows the gravity of the situation. But what is the main idea of this editorial? India must, underline the verb must, helping verb. It is used to express the personal obligation or obligation imposed by the writer in this context. India must leverage. Leverage also we have got many a time. What does it mean? Take advantage of something to the maximum extent possible. Leverage ties with Qatar to free its citizens facing death penalty. So it says India and Qatar, they have good relations. And India has to use the good officers of the country and use those good relations to bring out these citizens facing death penalty. It has to do something about that. This is the main idea, obviously. What is the tone of this editorial? The tone of the editorial obviously is one of concern, urgency and criticism. Why concern? Former Navy officers got death penalty, they have to show concern. And why urgency? They have to do immediately, otherwise it becomes a problem. And criticism. Why criticism? It starts with mystery trial. The Qatar courts or the government did not disclose or divulge or reveal the actual reasons for arresting. They did not make it crystal clear. So some sort of mystery based on that criticism. We'll start with the words, then we'll go to the editorial. Shall we do that? What is the first word here? Leverage. Part of speech, a verb. It's a regular verb. Use something to maximum advantage. Familiar word. Write the letter F. Espionage, an important word. Part of speech, noun. The activity of secretly collecting and reporting information. You can also write the word spying. Simple word is what? Spying. Nothing but spying, simple word. And the next one, shroud, an important word. Shroud is a regular verb. Shroud, shrouded, shrouded. Cover or envelop so as to conceal from you. In a simple way, shrouded in mystery. That's a typical combination. We use the word shroud with mystery. Someone's behavior, some incident, shrouded in mystery means covered in mystery. For us, difficult to understand. Have you got the meaning? The next one, scant. Scant we have got many a time, but not in the same form. We got in the form of scanty. Scanty, scantily dressed. I give one combination. Scanty means what? Abundant or shortage? Shortage, lack of something, dearth of something. Write the word scanty. Scanty means not enough. A different word form. Generally we use this word form, scanty. Not enough, and you have to think of the word dearth. Dearth means what? Shortage. Dearth of something, shortage of something. There's no dearth of information today. You have information everywhere. I hope you have written the words. Next one, plea. Plea goes with formal English. It goes with everyday English. It also goes with, it's a legal term. A request made in an urgent and emotional manner. You request someone, urgent and emotional manner, plea. Remember, plea is a legal term. It also goes with everyday English. Divulge, we have got many a time, part of speech verb. Make known private or sensitive information. Here, usually I give the word, write the word reveal. Reveal, disclose, divulge, all mean the same. Make public, and all these words go with information. Also, another word combination you have to know, secrets. Don't reveal the secrets, don't divulge the secrets, don't disclose the secrets, all the information. Please try to write quickly, a lot of words are there. And today I have got some different exercises. You may find those useful. I want to squeeze in some time. What is the next one? Pertain. Pertain is also a regular verb. Pertain, pertained, pertained. Means appropriate, related to, or applicable to. Pertaining is a noun form. Generally we use this word in the noun form. Pertaining to legal aspects. Pertaining to economic aspects. Means what? Relating to. And the next one is an important word, stealth. Stealth, here they have given movement that is quiet and careful in order not to be seen or heard. Usually this word stealth goes with, the typical combination cat, and also big cats. What are the big cats? Lion, tiger, leopard, puma. All these come under big cats. If you observe, you must have seen on National Geographic, before attacking the predator, pouncing upon the predator, they move very slowly and quietly. The prey cannot make out. So then we say stealthy. But another meaning of the word stealthy, please write the word secretly. Stealthily is the adverbial form. We use in the adverbial form. Stealthily means what? Secretly. An important word. Here stealth more or less the same meaning, but it goes with a submarine. Pertinent is an important word, though we have got a few times. When I say we have got a few times, I hope it sounds familiar. Yes or no? Pertinent means related to or relevant to a particular topic. And one word is important here, apposite. Please underline the word apposite. Appropriate, relevant, pertinent. Generally, the word pertinent takes the combination word question. Write the word question. It's a pertinent question. Means what? Relevant question. That combination you have to remember. Generally, in this part of the world, we don't use the word clemency. But if you go to the Western countries, especially in the US, this is a familiar word they use regularly. What is the word? Clemency. Clemency, we use the word mercy, but we don't use the word clemency. It is very popular in those countries. Meaning is the same, mercy or lenience. Underline the word lenience. Lenient, write another word form, lenient. Lenient means what? Sometimes what happens, you come across a strict person. And quite often you come across those who are not strict. And strict, 1%, 99% not strict. When someone is not strict, what is the word you use? A lenient person. He does not follow the rules and regulations. A lenient about that. What is the next one? Legwork. We have come across this for the first time. Part of speech noun. A work that involves much traveling about to collect information, especially when such work is difficult but boring. Not exactly boring, put the word boring in brackets. In this context, it goes with traveling, collecting information, and difficult because the context goes with India or Qatar. They have to go to Qatar and they have to get the information, not an easy thing. And these West Asian countries like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, all these countries, UAE, not open, not like India. You cannot simply walk in and walk out. A lot of restrictions are there. You've got to be extremely cautious. So these are the words from today's editorial. Let us go to the editorial. You got a fair idea what it is about. It is about death penalty given to former Navy officers and which cannot be justified because the trial is mysterious, not open. And based on that, India has to do something to release those officers. The death sentence handed down, please underline the phrasal verb, handed down, means given. The death sentence handed down by a Qatari court on Thursday to 8 Indians reportedly accused of. Already we have got the word accused many a time. And what is the other word you have to think of? Allegation, accusation, allegation of espionage, spying is indeed deeply shocking. As the Ministry of External Affairs described in a statement, and the situation is now a major test of the Narendra Modi government's diplomatic skills. Now, 8 people have been accused of espionage, a grave thing, an important thing, cannot be not acceptable by a particular country, any country for that matter. And based on this, what is required at this juncture, the government has to use its diplomatic skills and make sure these people, if at all they are innocent, they are not convicted. They have to make sure they are acquitted. That is the objective. Have you got the meaning of this sentence? The trial was shrouded in secrecy. As I said, the word shrouded means what? Covered. It goes with mystery, secrecy. The trial was shrouded. Which tense is that? Past tense, active voice or passive voice? The trial was shrouded in secrecy with scant information, a little information on the charges and evidence against a former Indian Navy serviceman arrested in August 2022. So as I said, these 2 words stand out. One is mystery, another secrecy, covered in secrecy. Why? Not enough. Usually when you accuse someone or make allegations, you have to provide evidence. But in this case, evidence a lot or a little. a little. What is the word used for that? Scant, scanty, scant information on the charges. And the second dimension, evidence against the former. Charges and evidence, scant information. They were arrested on in the month of August 2022. Underline the word despite. Already we have got so many times. Why is it important? Despite of is not the correct combination, that you have to recollect. Despite pleas, formal and urgent requests from their families and Indian diplomats in Doha, Qatar has not explained, underline hasn't explained, present perfect, why it has not diverged details of the case. Again, why it has not diverged, present perfect, means it disclosed or revealed the details of the case. Had they revealed the details of the case, the editor wouldn't have used words like shrouded, mystery, all these words. Because of that, all these things have come into the limelight. Even the judgment has yet to be shared with New Delhi. Underline the words yet to be shared. Already have given so many times, the word yet goes with which tense? Present perfect. And where should it come in a sentence? At the end or in the middle? At the end of the sentence. But there are two patterns that go with the word yet. If you use as an adverb, yet is also a conjunction. I'm not talking about that. When it comes to yet as an adverb, it should come at the end of the sentence. For example, the train hasn't come yet. The train hasn't yet come, wrong. The train hasn't come yet. But imagine I ask the question, has the train come? Standard answer, yet to come. Yet to come, nothing wrong. So here what is the pattern you see? First one or second one? Yet to be shared, underline, yet to be shared. Nothing wrong with that. Even the judgment has yet to be shared with New Delhi. Usually they share because it involves former officials. They have to share. Leaked reports means not official. Leaked reports suggest that the men have been accused of. Underline, have been accused of. Which tense is that? Active voice or passive voice? Passive voice. Please write passive voice. They have accused the men. The men have been accused of what? What is the main allegation? Sharing secret information pertaining to, related to, the stealth submarine program they worked on with a third country, a charge their families have denied. Have denied again, present perfect. So what is the allegation, what is the accusation? From this you should understand, these officers worked on a particular project. What is this project related to? Stealth submarine project. And when they worked, obviously they get hands-on experience. And the allegation is that they shared that information with a third country. That is not acceptable from their point of view. Sharing secret information pertaining to the stealth submarine program they worked on with a third country. And this charge denied by whom? The families have denied, obviously. Why will they say, yes, they have done this? Denial is an expected thing. No one knows the truth. That's a different story. Visits by Indian officials to Qatar to plead, underline the word plead. Plead is a verb. Plea is a noun. Already have got the word plea. Here plead is a verb. It's a regular verb. Plead, pleaded, pleaded. A request in a formal manner, we use the word plead. What is the response of Indian officials? Visits by Indian officials to Qatar to plead for leniency and transparency. In this case, leniency means relaxing the rules based on the death penalty, and transparency, underline the word transparency. Tell me, why is the word transparency used over here? The editorial talks about mystery, shrouded in secrecy. Opposite is what? Transparent. When it comes to the word transparent, usually we think of the opposite word, opaque. Opaque, transparent. But here transparency means open, not kept in secrecy. Transparency is required, obviously. To plead for leniency and transparency have been of no avail. Please underline the expression of no avail. Means no use, an important expression. Have been of no avail means have been of no use. Have you got the meaning? An important expression. While this, now it talks about a similar case that happened way back in, I think 2015 or 17, I don't remember, in Pakistan, a similar case. It refers to that case. While this case has some parallels to the case of former naval commander Jadhav, who is on death row too in Pakistan, the difference is that India's ties with Qatar have been relatively better. Pakistan also a similar incident, and the person involved, Jadhav, and it was in the limelight for quite some time. Every newspaper, every magazine would write about this case. I thought he was acquitted. He was, based on this, not acquitted. He's still there. That's what the sentence says. But what is the difference between the case in Pakistan, the case in Qatar? When it comes to the ties between the two countries, India has better ties with Qatar. So there is some sort of hope based on that. Going back to the next one, why the ties are good, interdependence. Next two sentences talk about that. Apart from strategic and defense cooperation agreements, India sources 40% of its LNG needs from Qatar. And the next one talks about dependence of Qatar on India. India is also Qatar's third biggest source of imports, particularly raw materials for construction and fresh food items. So there is interdependence, better ties. Based on that, pertinently, relevantly, these supplies continued despite the Gulf blockade against Qatar in 2017. 2017, there was a Gulf blockade. In spite of that, these supplies continued. That means that there's some sort of goodwill. They have to respect India because in spite of the blockade, they could get the supplies, which should have counted for some goodwill. As I said, that should be considered, should have counted for some goodwill towards India. I hope you got the meaning of that. When there was blockade, India supplied. That means they did a favor to Qatar, or they did not do a favor. They did a favor, and that will definitely, it must have produced goodwill. They should use that goodwill. They should have considered that goodwill in this case. That's what the editorial says. In addition, besides all those things, in addition, 7 lakh Indian expatriates. Expatriates means those who live in some other country. You leave your country, you go to another country. I have already given one important word, diaspora. Do you remember? We use the word diaspora. We also use the word expatriates. Both the words, but diaspora is a better word. Expatriates, how many? 7 lakh are an integral part of Qatar's institutions, industry and workforce. Today, if you go to Qatar, you see Indians everywhere. What is the number? 7 lakh. Integral part of institutions, industry and workforce. A rift in ties, underline the word rift. In this context, rift means what? Gap, distance. A rift in ties, which a sentence like this is bound to engender. Engender means what? In this context, it means bound to produce, which a sentence like this is bound to engender, will be to the detriment of both countries. Detriment, we have got many a time. Harmful, very good. Will be to the detriment of both countries, and India must make this clear to Qatar. It is not good for both the countries, and they have to do something about this. Now, coming to the second part, what does it say? The government must waste no time in charting the next steps to ensure the Indians are given the best possible support in an appeal. The editorial talks about the problem, talks about the solution. What is the solution here? Using the good offices, using the goodwill, Indian government has to do something immediately. It should not waste time. The same idea is being reiterated. The government must waste no time in charting the next steps to ensure the Indians are given the best possible support in an appeal. Apart from the legal appeals process and diplomatic legwork, the groundwork, traveling and gathering information, channels to the Qatari leadership should be activated at the highest levels, including the Prime Minister if necessary. So it has to go to the level of the Prime Minister and the highest, the top brass in Qatar. Write one expression I have just used, top brass, or people at the helm. Top brass usually goes with a company and also sometimes with the country officials. The top brass means the top people of a country. And people at the helm means those who control everything. You have to catch those people. Only then you can expect some sort of change in the stand taken by the government. How does the editorial end? A case must be made for clemency, mercy, and commuting the sentences to jail terms. Underline the word commuting. Have you heard of this word any time? Please respond. Commute. Actually, it has a different meaning altogether. Commute means travel long distances to work or for work. Travel long distances for work. Today, if you take big cities, Hyderabad, Bombay, Bangalore, people do what? They commute every day. And they're known as commuters. Travel long distances, 35 kilometers, 50 kilometers, unimaginable in the past. But in this context, does it mean the same? Answer? In this context, what do you understand? What could be the meaning of the word commuting? Commuting the sentences to jail terms. What do you understand? Converting. So please write the meaning. Converting. Converting the sentences to jail terms. Convert the death penalty to jail term. Both are entirely different. That could even be served out in India. That is a bit difficult. If the men are indeed found guilty in the appeals process. This, I find it a little not pragmatic. Pragmatic means what? Practical. Not practical because the editorial says could even be served out in India. Why will they send to India these people? They don't do that. They must have written this based on, in the past, if you remember, we had a case against Italian officers. Do you remember? Italian officers, they shot some fishermen off the coast of India, and there was a case. India imposed a death penalty, and it went on for many years. And finally, Italy also said they will take the punishment, but not in India, in Italy. Perhaps that acted as a precedent, but not practical in my opinion. Served out in India, the men are indeed found guilty in the appeals process. Notwithstanding reports that seek to tie the verdict to more geopolitical considerations, not considering, underline the word notwithstanding. Notwithstanding reports that seek to tie the verdict to more geopolitical considerations, including perceived Qatari differences with India over its policy on Israel and Palestine in the current conflict. Current conflict, you all know what is happening. 7,000 Palestinians have been killed till date. Innocent Palestinians, how many? 7,000. Every day, day in and day out, they're being bombarded with bombs every day. Israeli at random, not in a proper manner, at random. So kids are getting killed, getting badly affected. Because of that issue, there's some sort of rift between India and Qatar. The sentence talks about that. And that could be one of the reasons for this statement or this death penalty. That's what the reports say. Notwithstanding reports that seek to tie the verdict to more geopolitical considerations. What are the geopolitical considerations here? Including perceived Qatari differences with India over its policy on Israel and Palestine in the current conflict. The government must demonstrate that the lives of the men are indeed a priority for their country and for a government that claims a policy of no Indian left behind. There is a new policy based on the current regime. No Indian should be left behind. Every Indian abroad should get justice, and government is willing to do anything for that, to meet that. So have you got an idea about this editorial? Let us go to the exercises. Here I have brought new exercises. Let me spend a minute on the instructions. You see one column the words, the second column the meanings. All that you have to do, the words and the meanings you have to match. Take the first word brazen, go to the options, tell me which option is the answer. How many of you say C? Raise your hands. Very good. Brazen, bold without shame. Intentional, deliberate, bold without any shame. Put a star mark, anathema. That's an important word, not a regular word, so you got to remember. What is the answer? How many of you say E is the answer? That is right. Something or someone that is hated or avoided. Something you detest, you find disgusting. And insulate, third one. What is the answer? F is the answer, to protect someone or something. Partisan, strongly supporting a person, principle or political party. A is the answer. Undermine, B is the answer. Gradually weaken or destroy someone or something. Deploy, usually I give the meaning, deploy means to position. But in this context, what is it? To use something or someone. D is the answer. Have you got all correct? Let us go to the next one. This is a bit challenging. You may see many words are repeated, but what is this exercise about? Word combinations. You see the word brazen. Now you know the meaning. What are the word combinations you can think of? Brazen behavior, please write. Brazen behavior, brazen politicization, brazen attitude. These are some of the combinations. And also brazen policy, procedure. Any of these words could be used. In the context of the editorial, brazen politicization of something. Pursuit. You should be able to answer. Pursuit goes with you people. Career, first one. Dreams, ambitions. In pursuit of career goals, your dreams, your ambitions, and also the targets, in pursuit of all these. Insulate. Insulate takes the preposition from. Here you can see on the right, please have a look at fixed prepositions. In pursuit of, underline that. In pursuit of, what are the combination words? Dreams, goals, ambitions, career goals, all that. And insulate takes the preposition from. Insulate yourself from what? You can write words like from danger, injustice, terrorism, prejudice, bias, and negative factor. Generally, you can write negative forces. Insulate yourself from bad people, bad habits, bad behavior, something that is negative or something that is harmful. Next one is what? Partisan. Partisan, it goes with politics, one thing. Partisan behavior, partisan attitude. Politics, behavior, attitude. Treatment, also write the word treatment. Undermine means what? Weaken. Undermine goes with a system. Undermine the system. Undermine a society. The standards, the quality. Any of these words could be used. Quality, standards, values, system, the framework. Deploy, we have got so many times. What are the words you should be able to tell? Army, police. In this context, bureaucrats. Context talks about deploying bureaucrats, IAS officers, army. Generally, it goes with army, police, and in this context, the bureaucrats. Have a look at these fixed prepositions. Desist. Desist means what? Stop someone from doing something. It takes a preposition from. Regardless, irrespective of, regardless of. Focus on the prepositions. In pursuit of, insulate from. Details, generally what do you say? Details about. On also used in the editorial. So right next to it, about. Details about someone or something. Details on something. A new combination you have got. In control of someone or something, loyal to someone or something. What is today's phrasal verb? Call out. Call out means what? To criticize someone or ask them to explain their actions. You question someone, you ask for accountability, call out. And grammar, have you come across what is the tense that has been used a lot? present perfect. And many a time active voice, once I think passive voice, that you have to. And consolidation yesterday actually, it seems you did not get the message, the schedule. I came. I worked on yesterday's editorial. I came, but only 3 students came. Then I came to know the message was not sent. That's why you got 2 handouts. Have you seen? One goes with yesterday's and the other one today's editorial. Because every day it is same day editorial. I have to change the editorial. But spend some time on the words. Important words are there. That's all for today. I'm glad. Welcome back. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.